Hello and welcome to Winter Disco Tabletop Gaming, and this is something we have to talk about. I was hesitant in making this video, which is why it's taken so long to get this video out, but we need to talk about the pricing of Honored of the Chapter for Primaris Space Marines. There's been a lot of videos out there talking about how it's too expensive, it's overpriced, what is Games Workshop doing to other people to be like, it's not too bad, it's reasonable, it's all right. But what I wanted to do, instead of just going straight up opinion, I wanted to give you some prices of what this could be if everything was released separately. And because these models are released separately, we have to fudge some figures a bit. And the conclusion is, it's okay. You essentially do make a saving. So let's look at that. Let's see how much this could cost if they're actually individual models. Broken this down to a few ways. So we have some elite characters and then elite units. So we go to the, elite single individual models. So we've got three of those. We've got the Chaplain, GDCR, and Ancient. So we already have a baseline price for what we can do. We have the Chaplain already. It is the old ugly pimp stick Chaplain, which I do not like. I just think it's an ugly model. That is, and I should point out, we do this in Australian prices, but it will be indicative for the rest of the world, and also Australian prices are jacked up a little bit more. So you're gonna find the value is gonna be better in other jurisdictions, except New Zealand. Sorry guys, we are at the ends of the earth, which is very nice, but we get shafted with the prices. So Chaplains in Australia, $60. I think that for this kind of character, it's not a character, is it? This kind of model unit, that's the price that we've got. So we can say this Chaplain, because we already have another Chaplain sold individually, is worth $60 if they sold it separately. And we can say the same with the GDCR. It's a similar kind of, let's be honest, it's just a fancy, another Chaplain. So we could sell that as 60. I did consider going down to 55. I think in an army, you're gonna have less of these models. I think at the 60 price point it'd be fine. Then we've got the Ancient. There's really no equivalent of that, but I was poking around the website trying to find something. Well, what similar could it be? And the closest I can get is probably like your Primaris Lieutenant, where pronounce it how you want. Yeah, and they sell for about $55 Australian. So already there, we're at $175 Australian for three models. Yes, it's an expensive hobby. We know it's an expensive hobby. Some parts of the world are more expensive than others. We get it. We don't have to have the debate about is it an expensive hobby. It's an expensive hobby. It's a luxury hobby. So now we get to the two units, the Blade Guard Veterans and the Eradicators. We could just go easily say and be like, these are $84 each because we have multi-part kits of these. I don't think that's fair. I think that we shouldn't be saying that these units are $84 each because they're not multi-part units. Have you seen the number of extra pieces you get in these kits in the multi-part ones? You get tons of stuff. And I don't think it's fair to compare the two. Yes, the same unit, but it's not the same product. Coming up with a price for these two units, I'm thinking around $50 Australian. This somewhat makes sense. It's not an easy figure to come to, but we've come to it for a few reasons. First off, we have a lot of the easy to build kits for Age of Sigmar. They come in at ranging from $25 to $40. We know that these units are generally more baseline units, troop unit selection choices, rather than elite choices or heavy choices. And I preface this by saying that pricing, and this has been discussed online a lot, pricing for units is not just about the amount it costs to produce the model, but how it's used in the game. We're finding that elite units are more expensive than baseline units. Like you can buy units of Space Marines, 10 models for $100, but then a Chaplain model for $60 or a Captain model for $60. It doesn't make sense from a purely material production perspective. So because the Blade Guard Veterans and Eradicators would be classed higher than baseline troops, it attracts a higher price. For good or bad, that's just how it is. I don't make the rules. So that's why I wanted to say before people started commenting, but the easy to build ones are like $25 Australian or $40 Australian. They're different units. And also Age of Sigmar is slightly priced different to Warhammer 40,000. There's a bit more of a premium on 40k that I found. And I'd like to do a full analysis of that price at some point if people are interested, just to see what the difference is. It's a lot of work in that, and I don't want to get involved too much. I've also picked out the Primaris Firestrike Servo Turret, $55. Again, it's a single unit, and the same reason that it's more of, when I say elite choice, I know it's a heavy support choice, but when I say elite, I don't particularly mean elite in regards to the unit type rules wise, but elite as in you're only going to take a few of them. So I probably should clarify that. As the Fire Strike servo turret is this heavy support, it warrants a little bit higher of a price. Even though this is technically easy to build, it's not quite, it just pushes it up. So that's where I've put Blade Guard Veterans and Eradicators at 50. A lot of explanation for that, but I felt like it required a little bit more discussion as to why I've come to that price point. So overall, you're looking at $275 Australian if this was sold separately. And we see that this box, Honored of the Chapter, is $230. You would be getting a $45 saving. Again, like I've said 2 or 3 times already, prices will vary, and that difference and percentage difference will vary based on where you're located. I know there's some price variations between different models when you do currency conversions and things like that. Of course, you don't rely on the currency conversions. You compare the models to similar type models. That's why I can say the Chaplain and the GDCR are probably likely to be $60 because we can compare it to like models. So there we go. Save 45 bucks Australian. Is that a good deal? I think it's okay because we also have to consider the quality of these models. I think the Chaplain model is one of the best Space Marine models that they have put out in recent memory. I love that model. Ancient is a very odd but very unique model, and I really do like the design. Very much stands out. It's not your traditional banner or flag type model. The Blade Guard Veteran models, hand down, they smash it out of the park. I love them. And Eradicators, I love the chunkiness of the model. I don't like the DCR. And just armor weird. Just too many things about it that I don't quite understand. Why has he got a clock? Why? Like an egg timer. Well, what's he timing? So he has to have a break? Is he part of a union? Sanctioned union break? I don't understand. And that's fine, not the rest. So yeah, about right. My personal opinion coming from, I'd be willing to spend. I think it'd be better if it was, so 230 is a bit high. I could see it more at 210, I think, in other jurisdictions and other currencies, but do breakdown of other currencies, but I'll just stick to Australian for now. And like I said, the discounts overall. So there you go. I think it's okay. I'm not about it. I think price, you look at it as a single package, and your difference is you're not going to get these models separately. So because it's the only way you can get it, you're going to have to pay a more premium price. It's just the nature of this release and how they package this together in the Indomitus box set. These models are some way outside of the box set. And when I saw the Primaris, I was like, okay, how are they going to do this? They have to release the sprue by itself. Certain was on its own, made sense. It was going to come out in its own way, but like that was obviously going to come out separately. But for this sprue, it was going to be a tough sell of what's on it. I think they could have done it if they did split the sprues up a bit more. Put the Chaplain, GDCR, and Ancient on a separate thing that could have been done, but production issues, so many issues, and it probably would have cost a hell of a lot more money to do that. So I had to make, I felt I had, but the comments, because I'm interested to know what people think about and value they're putting on it other than a monetary value. Like I said, I think this sprue is brilliant. I really love the sprue. I wish it wasn't the Eradicators in there. I wish it was something separate, something else, but it is a factor. It's a really big factor. So this isn't just about what you get, the exclusivity, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it is slightly cheaper. Is it cheap enough? Whatever. Let's talk about that in the comments. I've rambled on enough. Thank you for watching this long-winded rambling video. Definitely subscribe because we'll do some more of this stuff. Just rambling videos. Another video if you happen to find it. See you later.